Hello and welcome to this short tutorial on Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application. That means it's a computer program that's interactive and it's written to help you store and analyze data in tabular form. Now I'm going to use Microsoft Excel 2013. You're free to use whatever version of Microsoft Excel you have, but make sure your version is either equal to 2007 or higher, because all the midterms will be in Microsoft Excel and you will have to submit a .xlsx file. Okay, fine. So what is Microsoft Excel? Spreadsheet application, I already spoke about that. You will obviously go on to the web and you'll search for many tutorials. So let me just tell you the basic terminology of Excel, so that's going to help you understand different tutorials on the web. Now this region here, you see this rectangular menu bar, that's called a ribbon. Apparently previous versions of Excel had simple buttons on top, and this ribbon was a different feature. I forget which version of Excel first introduced it, but this is what's called a ribbon. As you can see, it looks like a rectangular strip, more or less like a ribbon. And these menu options on top are called tabs. So this is a home tab, insert tab, page layout, so on and so forth. Now Excel has many features, and many people who work with Excel usually say that they don't know all of its features. It is not important for you to learn all the features of Excel for this course. Just some basic features that will help you solve different questions. Okay, having said that, let's talk about this sheet over here. This is called a worksheet. And as you can see on top, the default name of this file is called Book 1. Now Excel basically saves all its files in workbooks. That's essentially one book, and each set of sheets is called each sheet is called a worksheet. You can always add new sheets by clicking on the plus button here. You can also go ahead and rename the sheets or delete the sheets if you want by going and clicking on right-clicking on the sheet and choosing whatever options you want. Rename if you wish to, or I'll just leave that as it is. Okay, you typed an invalid name. Okay, let me just escape that. And you can also delete the sheets if you wish. Now, since our midterm exam consists of 4 questions, I will ask you to solve each question on a different sheet. I'll give you instructions on that later in class. Okay. The most basic use of Microsoft Excel in this course will be its ability to act as a calculator, or its calculation features. Now there are, let me think, 4 mathematical operations that are of use to us, which is the plus. I'll talk about cell referencing in a moment. You'll understand what that is. Let me just say plus, minus, division, and multiplication. Those are the 4 symbols. You can also use the parentheses, which is parentheses, and exponentiation. That's by the caret symbol. Okay, first things first. What if you want to add 2 numbers? Let's say you want to do 2 plus 2. You go to any cell. You see the active cell, or the cell you selected, is shown by this bold green border in my case. Each cell, that's what this worksheet consists of, many cells. Each cell has an address. It has a row address and it has a column address. Okay, and the cell you select is called the active cell. The lines you see here are called grid lines. Now that we have that out of the way, let's speak about a simple calculation, which is 2 plus 2. If I want to calculate 2 plus 2, I just go to any cell, type in equal to 2 plus 2, and it gives you the answer straight away. That's equal to 4. You can also check out what you entered in the formula bar. That's right here on top, and you also know which cell you're in. That's a cell A1. Sometimes people refer to cells as range, so you know when the tutorials talk about a range, what they're actually referring to. Now let's say you don't put in the equal to sign and you just type in 2 plus 2. Excel will interpret that as a string. It just sees that as a string of digits, and it's not going to calculate that. So it is very important for you to type an equal to before you perform, or before you type in the mathematical operation you want to perform. Now the order of operations in Excel is BEDMAS, or brackets of exponentiation, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So what Excel does is when you type in a mathematical expression, it's going to search for parentheses first. So let's say I want to type, if I want to do 2 plus 2 first, and then I want to multiply the result by 3, I just put that in the parentheses and, use the asterisk symbol and multiply that by 3. The reason for that is, I will explain that in just a moment. The answer to that is 12. Now let me just do 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 times 3 without using the parentheses. What that does is it follows the Bedmos rule. It will perform the multiplication operation first because m comes before a, and then it performs the addition. So the answer to this mathematical expression will be 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 2, which is 8. Let's see if it gives 8. It does in fact give 8. Okay, so you can play around with the different mathematical operations in Excel and figure out what are the different ways you can do stuff on your own. It's not too tough, you just play around. Okay, now the thing I like about Excel the most is its idea of cell referencing. Let's say I don't know, I haven't decided what numbers to add right now. I just have two numbers in mind that I want to add. So I just type in number 1, number 2, and total. And what I want to do is I want to type in one number here, another number here, and I want to display the sum of those two numbers in this cell, B3. You can use a feature of self-referencing to perform this operation. So in order to perform the operation of adding two numbers in cell B1 and cell B2, what I'm going to do, and display that in cell B3, what I'm going to do is type equal to, use cell reference. I'm going to use my arrow key. So I'm going to click on the up arrow. That's going to show this selection box. Go to cell B1, so you can automatically see Excel is now referencing B1. Type in the plus symbol, plus B2. And now currently it's 0 because there are no values entered here, so by default it takes a 0. So now if I type in 1, you can see 1, and type in 3, you can see 4. So what Excel is doing is it's taking whatever value is given in cell B1 and adding that to cell B2. This is a very neat trick of self-referencing. And you can go ahead and do whatever you want, so many different things by using this concept of self-reference. Okay, now let me say that I have a set of numbers in this column, column D. Okay, let me go right back on top there and delete everything first. Okay, now let's say I have column 1, and that consists of certain numbers, and I have column 2 that consists of certain numbers, and I want to display the total here. So what I want to do is there's one number here given in this column, there's another number given here in that column, and I want to display the total of these two numbers in this box over here. How do I do that? Okay, first, cell referencing, equal to, go select A2, and then just type in a plus, and select B2. Okay, so now that's taken care of that row. So now it's going to do 1, 2, and whatever the value of that is, sum of those two numbers is 3. Okay, now the next cell, what do I do here? Go again to cell C3, type in an equal to, select A3 plus B3. Okay, that's another one. Let's do 4 and 5 this time. Okay, what if I want to replicate this whole process for this entire column, or up to row 20? Do I sit down and type in equal to this cell plus this cell, and then go here equal to this cell plus this cell? No, not necessary. Excel has this wonderful feature called fill handle. It allows you to replicate a certain pattern. So when I come here, I just hover my mouse over this square box or square whatever that's called. That's called a fill handle. I shouldn't say whatever that's called. And a crosshair appears. So what I do is a left click on the crosshair, a left click on the box rather, when the crosshair appears, and just drag it down up to row 20. So what Excel has done is just replicated the process, replicated the pattern that was in cell C3, and it just performed the same operation over and over again. So let's just check that out. In C3, I have the formula equals A3 plus B3. And now Excel has replicated that, checked out the pattern, and now it's doing A4 plus B4 in cell C4, A5 plus B5 in cell C5, so on and so forth. Right down to this last row here, 20. You can also change that to make it perform multiplication instead of addition, but the only problem will be that it does not reflect in the other boxes. So what you do is go ahead, do the fill handle again. There are other ways to do it as well. This is what I usually do to keep track of what's going on. Okay, let's do another operation here. Let's say you have number 1, and this is equal to 4. This was a nice trick that Sean Newman showed on Friday, and I want to share that with you. And now what I want to do is whatever numbers here in this cell, I want to add 4, or whatever number I type in cell I2, to all these numbers that's in column C. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and enter plus, and then select. Okay, it's not letting me select. Let me just check. Correct, do you want to accept this correction? Yes, let me just go ahead and type that again. Equal to, okay, delete that. Okay, equal to, select cell A3, the asterisk symbol, times B3, plus whatever numbers there in cell I2. Okay, enter. Now I'm going to use a property of fill handle. Okay, so it's been replicated over here. The only problem is Excel saw that as a pattern. It did not keep the number, it did not keep the cell I2 constant. So when I check out this box here, it's A3 times B3 plus I2, come down. It's A4 times B4 plus I3. So what it's doing on its own is automatically incrementing the column values. The reason, rather the row values, because the reason for that is I applied the fill handle on a column. So it's going to change, it's going to keep the column addresses the same, but it's going to change the row address for column I, just as it did for column A and B. How do I change that? Okay, just come back here and type in the dollar symbol before I and before 2, and that's going to fix I2 for this mathematical operation. So when we come down here, you see it's just going to keep I2 stable, and it's only going to increment the other 2 column addresses, rather the row address for the other cells. Okay, now can this operation be performed on rows as well instead of just columns? Certainly, why not? Let me show you how to do it for rows. Or rather, let me just show one operation which gives you how you can do it for rows. Which rather, whatever. Number 1, number 2, and total. So what I want to do is I'm going to type in number 1 in this row, different number 1s, and different numbers 2 in this row, and I want Excel to show the sum here on row 3. Okay, how do I do that? First, cell referencing equal to B1 plus B2. So now Excel seeing the pattern, that's B1 and B2. If I just go down this way, now let's see what Excel sees that as. It sees, oh, okay, I got to increment the rows because you're applying fill handle to a column. So it's just going to change that, and it's going to add 2 numbers that are right on top of each other. For example, for this cell, it's going to add numbers in B1 and B2. When I come down to this box, it's going to add 2 numbers on top, B2 and B3. Now, that's not what I want. What I want Excel to do is add whatever numbers in this cell to whatever numbers in this cell, same here. So what I do is apply the fill handle to a row instead of a column. And that's what it does, which is wonderful. Okay, B1 plus B2, C1 plus C2, D1 plus D2. So the basic logic is if you apply fill handle to a column, it's going to keep all the column addresses the same, and it's going to increment the row address. Whereas if you apply a fill handle to a row, it's going to keep all the row addresses the same and increment the column address. And that's a wonderful trick in my opinion. Later on in the course, I'll show you how to use this to generate different numbers. We will also talk about inserting different charts and so on and so forth. But for now, I think you've got it started. You've got it going and you know what to do. Now let's say you just want to add a few numbers. And you don't want to type number 1 plus number 2, so on and so forth. Let's say you have a set of numbers in column A from 1 to 10, and you want to show the sum of those numbers in cell A11. Let me just type those numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And in this cell, I want to type the sum of these 10 numbers. with the basic information I've given you, the natural way to think about this is just type in equal to, use the arrow keys, or you can even use your mouse if you wish, to select cell A1, put a plus. Then let me just show you how to do it with the mouse. Select cell A2, then go ahead, select cell A3 by making your mouse hover over cell A3 and left clicking. And cell A4 plus cell A5 plus cell A6 plus cell A7 plus cell A8 plus cell A9 plus cell A10. Oof, I think I've already fallen asleep. Or either that or you've fallen asleep. Anyway, if you haven't fallen asleep, there's an easier way to do this, which is just type in an equal to and request Excel to use one of its inbuilt functions to perform this operation for you. And I'm thinking specifically of the sum function. So I type in equal to sum, open parentheses, and then go ahead and select all these cells. The way I'm selecting these cells is I'm using my arrow keys to go check the first cell first, then use the shift key, press the shift key down, and then use the down arrow to continuously select the other cells. So you see automatically it's gone ahead and selected those cells, close parentheses, and type enter. There you go, it does the same operation as this entire formula here, which is much easier to do. I also want to talk about the product function, but before that, let's say I want to multiply the first 10 numbers in column A. So what I would do, you go ahead, select A1, A2, bear with me, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. I never realized it is so tedious to perform such operations. I've always been using built-in functions for Excel, as most people do. Okay, that's a product file. That's a big number. Instead of doing this manually, I'm going to use another built-in function called the product function. And if you want to use a mathematical inbuilt function for Excel, all you have to do is type in an equal to. If you don't type in the equal to, Excel is going to read that as a string. String means it's alphanumeric, so it's not going to perform a mathematical operation. It's going to see it as what it is. It's not going to change that. So equal to product. And as you can see, this is very nice. If you just type in a few letters, if you type a P, it's going to show you all the inbuilt functions it has starting with a P. And I'm going to just type in product, open parentheses, then go ahead, select all these cells, close parentheses, and wow. Oh, okay, I typed in 65 as well. So let me just do that again, product. Only the first 10 numbers this time. 10, okay, wonderful. So they match. Okay, now how do I know these inbuilt functions? I did not know when I started using Excel. What I would do is, if I want to perform an operation, let's say if I want to sum numbers in cells in Excel, I would just type in my question on Google, sum numbers in cells Excel. And there are so many people who use Excel, and there's so much documentation about Excel that you're bound to come across the right answer and different shortcuts for Excel. So be patient. Don't worry if you don't understand what's going on. Best way to learn Excel is to come up with the problem and try out the problem in Excel. If you don't know how to do it, just go to the internet and type it out. And that's all I have for now. Now Sean spoke about a few more things in class about different inbuilt formulas. For our course, in fact, I shouldn't say for our course, in the midterms, you will be allowed to use only those 4 mathematical operations, which is addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, I shouldn't say only 4, along with the caret symbol, which is exponentiation, so that's 5 operations. And of course, you're free to use parentheses however you like. Now, Sean's also shown other, no, oh, come on, okay. Sean has also shown other formulas for Excel, and he will shortly make a video on that. So in this course, you will be allowed, for the midterms at least, you will be allowed to use only those operations and the sum and the product function, nothing more. So that these operations and those 2 inbuilt functions are enough for you to get through this course. Now, why is it important to learn other inbuilt functions in Excel? Now, this course is not about you mastering Excel. Certainly, Excel is a good spreadsheet application, so learning Excel is important. But when you go outside in the real world, you will need shortcuts. You can't sit down and perform tedious operations by using only the basic mathematical operators and the sum and the product function. So Sean is going to solve many problems in Excel as weeks come by, and he's also going to post YouTube videos. So will I, but I'll be talking about the problems we solved in class. This is enough for you to get through the course, and I strongly encourage you to watch all of Sean's videos about the different inbuilt functions in Excel and how they can come in handy to you in the future. Okay, that's all I have for today. I will see you in class.